Okay. Mmm. You know, turkey just adds a different dimension compared to chicken. But, you know, you can make this into chicken wild rice soup too. And an easy, quick way would be to use a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. Oh my gosh. Well, hi, I'm Amy Roloff, and I'm in my little kitchen. So we're still into the fall season, and I thought I would do one of my other favorite turkey recipes that most likely all of you guys do too, or some version of it. But what do we do with our leftover turkey meat, if there is any, at Thanksgiving? And so one of the things that I've made is turkey enchiladas. My kids have loved them over the years. And that's typically what I do with leftover turkey, because I can have white turkey meat, dark turkey meat, and still got that nice seasoning kind of thing in it. And then I use a little bit of cayenne pepper and add some jalapeno peppers just to give it a little more spice for the enchiladas. But another thing I love to do, because it's warm and comforting in those cold, November days, is turkey wild rice turkey soup, or turkey and wild rice soup, whatever you want to call it. And so I think that's another good recipe to do, and it's very simple. I mean, you have your basic things that most likely are in most soups, and I think the French word is your mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery. You will saute that so they get just, still have a little bit of bite to it, because they'll continue to cook in the broth. But we're gonna go ahead, or I already have cut, is the carrots. I have anywhere from 3, maybe 4 carrots. It really depends on how large your carrots are. This is the size of the carrots I was using, so I might cut up one more. So I have about 3 carrots in here. I thought it'd be really kind of neat to add some leeks. So I have 1 leek in here, and I'm only going to do maybe 2 celeries. I don't know, maybe 3. And then because I'm using the leeks, I only have cut up 1/2 of an onion. Then I have about 1.25 cups of wild rice, which I really, really like over just regular plain white rice or long grain rice or whatever else you may want to use. Because I think this still has a little bit of chew to it, and I think that's great when you use the turkey meat. And then we're going to also add in some little mushrooms to that. Obviously, absolutely, garlic. And for my herbs for this, because I wanted to use some things that we kind of typically use when we have our Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to have about, I don't know, a tablespoon or more of thyme, a little bit of sage, but I did not use ground sage. I used kind of that, I don't know what you would call it, sage leaves, or just really minced up, cut up. So find your, one of the seasonings that you really like to use. I'm only going to use very little of rosemary. I've got fresh rosemary here because I think rosemary is a very strong herb, and I like it a lot with maybe pork chops, but especially beef. So I'm only going to add just a little bit into the turkey wild rice soup. And so I'm sure many of you guys know, you take your little thyme and you kind of just take your finger, go against the leaves, and all the leaves come off this little woody little stem to it. So I'm going to finish up cutting up this celery, chopping up my leeks a little bit more, chopping up some parsley, and then I'm going to carve up this little turkey breast meat and cut it into little chunks or shred it a little bit. So that'll be part of our turkey rice soup. So let's get going. Yeah, I decided to give this soup a try a little bit earlier than typical Thanksgiving dinner because we've got friends coming over tonight. And so it's going to be kind of like a soup night. I haven't had one of my big soup nights in quite a while because of everything that all of us have been going through. So we're just doing little small groups for now. And then Chris and I are getting ready for our honeymoon. But I hope to have some of my other friends that started my whole soup night concept back over again real soon. So maybe I'll do a holiday one. I'll have to come up with one. Maybe that's when I'll make beef stew. I know beef stew isn't really a soup, but I don't know. All goes in one pot. So I'm just going to do a rough chop on these carrots. I don't want them really in tiny pieces, but I definitely don't want them in big chunks. I want to be able to, use that soup spoon and get a little bit of carrot, a little bit of turkey, a little bit of rice, a little bit of broth, that kind of thing. The bigger chunks, I'd rather save for beef stew. Oh, see, here's a little bigger one. Okay, we got the carrots. I'm just going to do a little bit of celery. And then definitely, Daddy, say we got to have garlic in this, right? I've got 3 garlics and 3 cloves of garlic and 1 little one. So I don't know. It depends on how much I have. I might add a 4th clove. So again, I'm just going to give this a rough chop. And wild rice soup, you can add chicken to it if you want, if you don't have turkey. I mean, this just isn't, wild rice with turkey or chicken isn't just for Thanksgiving. You can make it any time of the year. I just think it's a good use of using leftover turkey. Besides, the best turkey sandwiches in the world is from Thanksgiving too. Let me get a little bowl here. I still got to empty my dishwasher. So I got 1 celery. Let's definitely do another one. Because this soup, may take like an hour because we're going to use dried wild rice. So you got to give that time to cook. And then you definitely want the soup to sit there for a minute or two and just on the lowest temperature, just to simmer and get all those flavors meld together. And of course, I always think soup is just as good, if not better, the next day. Okay, so we got our celery, a rough chop. So I'm just going to leave that at 2 for now. I'm going to chop up my garlic. And this I don't need it minced, but I wouldn't do it a rough chop either. I tell you, sometimes when you chop this stuff, it goes flying off the cutting board. I mean, what in the world? I love the smell of garlic, though. One of these days, I'm just going to do fresh bread rubbed with garlic, a little bit of salt and pepper on it with a nice glass of wine, a little bit of cheese, and maybe a good salami. Oh, just sounds perfect to me. Okay, we got that going. Darn it, I need another little thing. Oh, here's one. Okay, so let's add this in here. Okay. Like I said, I might add another garlic, but I'm not sure. Might as well cut up this rosemary. And again, just like the thyme, you just take the top and just kind of rub your fingers down opposite of the way the rosemary is going. And you just pull it off the little woody stem. So this may only be like a half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon. I just want a little bit of rosemary. Like I said, I think it's a strong herb. So I don't want too much to overpower this soup. This soup is hearty. It's got that chewy wild rice, the big chunks of leftover turkey. I mean, what can be better than that? I know soups sometimes take a lot because there's a lot of prep to it, all the cutting and stuff like that. But once you do all that, put everything in the pot and just let it cook, let it simmer, then you're done. Okay, what else do I need? I think that's it. So I'm gonna carve up this turkey a little bit, get our turkey going, and then we're gonna head on over to the stove. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it. And I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you and back to the video. Okay, guys, I think my butter and a little bit of olive oil is definitely heating up. So we're going to add the carrots in there, let them saute a little bit. Because I think carrots take a little bit longer than onions. And I want to really be careful how much salt I add to this because when you're using your leftover turkey meat, most likely that has already been seasoned. So, you know, I would try and be careful at how much salt you use. And when you're sauteing vegetables, you know, they also need a little bit of flavor. So we're just gonna add a little bit of salt in here. And there's only 4 of us, so hopefully I won't make soup that will last Chris and I for the next week. So we'll just let that simmer here for a little bit. See? I think this is a good way to get your veggies too. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit of our onion. Like I said, about a half a cup of onion. And I forgot to chop up my leek, so I did that. And I think 1 whole leek is a bit much, so I'm only adding 1/2 cup of chopped up leeks. 1 leek. So we're just gonna let that kind of do its thing for a little bit. And I would say this is probably about 5 to 10 minutes, depending. A little bit of pepper. And there we go. All right. Okay, so what we're doing here is I could not find turkey broth, so I'm using chicken broth. And, you know, this could be chicken wild rice soup as well. And a great time saver is getting a rotisserie chicken, you know, from the grocery store. Hang on, I gotta get some hot pads here. So, this is how onions and celery and carrots and leeks will kind of cook up. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in the garlic. Like I said, I only have 3 plus 1 little garlic clove in here. Just cook that up a little bit until it's aromatic. Aromatic. I can smell it. And I know you can't see it over here, but what I'm doing over here is I'm gonna kind of, just with a little bit of butter, kind of cook up the mushrooms a little bit here. I want to kind of get their raw flavor, you know, get the raw flavor out of it. And I really like, I think these are not the white mushrooms, but the cremini mushrooms, the ones that look more brown. I really like them. I don't know, in soups and stuff like that, they just look rustic. So we're just gonna, yeah. So we're gonna let that saute for a little bit. So we got this going on. We're just gonna put in a little bit of our herbs, kind of get that all mixed in. Oh, it smells so good. And I have 1 1/4 cup of wild rice. We're gonna blend that all in here. Okay. And I'm not gonna be tempted to add more because it looks really tiny right now, but we haven't had it cooked yet. So we're just gonna turn that up just a little bit. Just kind of let it toast for a minute. Oh yeah, look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Oh, it's gonna be some luscious soup. I'm gonna get a measuring cup here. There we go. We're gonna add about 4 cups. I think it's gonna be more like 6. There's 2. Four. I think we're gonna add a 6. I don't want to add the turkey in right now because it's already, you know, cooked. And I want to give the rice a chance to kind of cook up here. So that's 4 cups. And there's 6. Okay, we're just going to turn this up a little bit. Stir it around. Get all those flavors mingling in there. Oh yeah. We're gonna bring it to a boil. And as I saute up the mushrooms a little bit, and I only slice these. If you wanted them smaller chunks, I would just slice. I would slice the slice in half. I thought maybe these would cook down a little bit more. But I don't know if we're quite done yet. So I'm gonna put the lid on here, bring it to a boil, reduce it, and simmer it so the rice cooks for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Check it after 20 minutes, see how it's going. So once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna turn it down to a simmer and let it cook for 20 minutes. So this is turkey wild rice soup. Okay, so we are definitely ready to put in the chicken. And see how the rice has thickened up the soup? So I might add a little more broth to this. But let me take just a little bite here. Because like I said, the rice will be a little chewy. So it doesn't necessarily plump up like white rice. Love it. But I'm gonna go ahead and add in the mushrooms. Here they are, the mushrooms here. And we're gonna go and add in the turkey. And that will definitely show me that I need some more broth. So I have about 4 cups of shredded turkey here. So I already added 2 cups of the broth. I'm gonna add in 2 more because there's about 4 cups in each of these containers. But I definitely feel like I need more turkey in here because Chris likes a lot of stuff in his soup. I'll just do it all. And there we go. I'll let this simmer for about another 20 minutes, maybe a half hour. And simmer means it's on low. Wow, look at that. You guys, look at this. Sorry if I'm jerking you around here, but look at that. So much goodness in here. And it is a cold, rainy day today, so I will definitely be looking forward to this. So I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead, just keep this on simmer, put the lid on, and I'm gonna go ahead and make like a small green salad, get my bread together, get that all warmed up. And then we're gonna have a lovely turkey wild rice soup night. Okay, we are done. My soup is done, and let me show you this. I also made a apple cinnamon streusel coffee cake that we're also gonna have for dessert. But let me finish off this soup for you. Oh man, it looks so good, you guys. Here, let me bring you over here. We got a salad going on. I'm gonna cut up some bread and make my own croutons. But look at that. Oh my goodness. So good. Oops. Sorry, I'm doing this like two-handed, people. But yeah, oh, it looks so good. And so our friends are coming over. Oops. Our friends are coming over here in a minute. And so I'm just gonna bring you guys back here because I know all of you like me to taste, to taste what I actually eat. So let's get some of this lusciousness in here. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in that little bowl. Oh, it's so good. Okay. You know, turkey just adds a different dimension compared to chicken. But, you know, you can make this into chicken wild rice soup too. And an easy, quick way would be to use a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. Oh my gosh. But this is such a good meal, warm and comforting after all of that work preparing for Thanksgiving dinner. It's just to throw a few vegetables, you know, kind of saute them in a pan, use some leftover chicken, or if you got other vegetables you want to add to here, maybe add wild rice because you just had potatoes. So anyway, I think I'm going to make this dish again after Thanksgiving because I love it. It's warm, it's comforting, and it's easy to do. So why don't you hop on over? Well, no. Thank you for being in my little kitchen with me tonight. I so appreciate it. So you're going to find this turkey wild rice soup over at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen on my YouTube channel. So head on over there, I hope. And you can also find the apple cinnamon streusel coffee cake with maple syrup frosting over there as well. So anyway, leftovers, this is one thing you can do. So enjoy. Thanks for joining me. I love seeing my little kitchen. because it is kind of little, and it's mine, and it's me, and I love cooking in it. So I'd appreciate it if you hop on over to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.